again, talking to Mr. Chong this morning, the president, and just stating that fact from my personal point of view, that I just believe as a coach of the national team, you have to be in that country. Yeah, you have to know the culture. 대한 사람 대한으로 길이 보존하세. I think also that the Korean people are very, very proud. Yeah, so a proud nation. But I believe at times that Korea needs to have more 더 자신감.
더 자신감.
예, 한국 사람 자신감 필요해요. Yeah.
Can you say hello to viewers in Korean?
네, 안녕히 계세요, 여러분.
안녕히 계세요.
네. 안녕하세요, 안녕하세요, 여러분.
Yeah. But 안녕히 계세요 is right too. So because you living.
맞아요.
Yeah. Yep. You spent 4 years and 8 months in Korea, right?
Well, I almost call it 5 years because it is basically almost 5 years. So I've obviously enjoyed every minute working with the players. I love living in Korea, and I'm very upset that I'm leaving now. So 저는 너무 싶었어요. 그리고 저는 많이 아쉬워요.
정이 많이 들었군요. Do you know what means? 정이 많이 들었다?
No.
You getting close with your players.
Sure, and also the lifestyle. I have very dear friends now here in Korea, and I was hoping to be able to continue until the next World Cup. But obviously now things have changed.
You were so quick to you getting close with your players, and you were famous as a good motivator in Korea. How you do that?
I think it's important just to be honest, first of all, don't lie, and show them the love and the affection, but also knowing where our strengths and weaknesses are, and trying to help them, that the players realise we're there to help. And you mentioned just earlier that we got to the Asian Cup final, but then the World Cup and the Asian Games and the Olympic qualification. But nobody in the media is prepared to look for the reasons why we didn't achieve the goals.
Why?
Because and that's the most important thing. Because as a national team coach, you cannot bring the fitness levels up to 100% as a national team coach.
Yeah, of course.
That happens at club level. And this has been an ongoing story now for me, and a big frustration now for almost 5 years. I've said this so often, that the system that the girls are playing in and the women's game, that this system is enclosed, it's geared to failure. This system has to change. If this is the level, and the girls have always given me everything, sometimes maybe just a little bit below, but they reach this level. But international football, the level is here. And I can't get them to there because the foundation is not there. That meaning that the intensity levels, the high speed runs, the sprints, the actions in the game that you actually need to be this level, that foundation can only be achieved at club level. And then they come into the national team, and then I can add my tactical awareness. This has been a big frustration for me. It's easy to say, oh, you didn't do well at the World Cup. You didn't qualify, or you didn't get a medal at Asian Games. You didn't qualify for the Olympics, so it's my fault. But it's not that easy. And that's been I'd like to say, a frustration, because nobody in the media really looks intensely at the reasons. In men's football, it's totally different. There's a very big scrutiny in every game that's played, whether it's a men's national team, under 23s, K1, K2. But in the women's game, the only scrutiny is basically the national team. So that's a thing that now I would hope that everybody here in Korea that's interested in women's football take it more seriously, because to get to the next level, you have to have a better foundation. If I make a mistake in the game, and a tactical mistake, or didn't pick the right team, I hold my hands up all the time. I'm my biggest critic myself. But knowing the background and having much more information, and also data. Obviously, this day and age, the technology, we have all GPS data. So we can measure our GPS data and compare that to other national teams. And we're miles away.
Miles away.
Yes. Because of the work that's done during the week at the club level. The WK League has 8 clubs, but sometimes playing 2 matches a week. So that means that the girls have no time to actually recover, or there's no intensity then in the training because the games are too close to each other. So I've given a few weeks ago a clear vision for the future of the women's football to the KFA, and that entails basically everything. After 5 years of experiencing all this, and then but nothing changes, and that's a problem, because we have talented players, but the players will not reach their full potential unless the system that they are training in and living in has to change, and that starts schools, university, WK League. And the KFA does not have the power over these. The KFA only has the national teams. It's a different governing body for the schools, and university and WK League is a KWFF. And if that system would just be changed, rejuvenated, it would be a big help for everybody here.
Yeah. So your famous Korean word is 고강도?
Yeah, 고강도, 건대 고강도, also 항상 고강도 안 돼요. 안 돼요. Also 지금 안 돼요. 왜냐면 피트니스, 피지컬 큰 문제. 가끔 고강도 좋아요. So 고강도 대 USA 결과 0대0. 캐나다 0대0. 오스트레일리아 이겼어요 1대0. Japan 1대1. 중국 0대0, 1대1. performance 괜찮아요. 그런데 가끔. 여자 대표팀 고강도 항상 고강도 필요해요. 매 경기 고강도 필요해요. But like I said earlier, that foundation, that fitness level can only be achieved at club level. I made myself very unpopular with WK League coaches, but only because I told them the truth. And we have the data to prove it. But nobody listens. So now we're in a situation where I am leaving or have to leave. And like I said earlier when we started, I'm very sad. I want to stay in Korea, and I hope to come back sometime.
Yeah, let's talk about future just a little more. The national team had golden generation, so-called golden generation, recent years, like Ji So-yeon, many players. And they are getting old now, and they are 30s. And you want to pick many younger players in national team, as I know, like Case Pair.
In all of the age groups, we have talent. And again, I just repeat myself, but what are we doing with this talent? The younger players that I brought in over the last or the last 8 or 9 months, that are still like at high school or in university. Again, talented players. And I'm thinking, why are they not allowed to play in the WK League already? You know, if a player's 16, 17 and she's good enough to play, whereas in other countries, these players are playing first team football or senior football, which gives them a big advantage. So that's the reason why the average age of the national team is always going to be older, because the players finish university, then they come into the WK League, they're already 22 or 23 or even 24 years old. Yeah, so if you have a 30-year-old player, 31-year-old player, she only has maybe 6-7 years experience at senior football. Whereas, so if a player comes into the WK League at 23, say, 22, 23, a German girl already has 5 years experience. And I was always saying, why can't we change? I'm not talking about average players. I'm talking about elite players.
Yeah, of course.
The elite players are good enough to play in the WK League now, even if they're 16, 17 years old. So you mentioned Casey. So Casey's 16. So she's already played now quite a few number of matches for me with the national team. But if she was in Korea, she couldn't play. She can only play because she's 16, basically in senior football, because she's in a different country. So it's these kind of things that, and I just don't feel as though it's that difficult to change, but it seems so difficult to change, yeah. So these players need to be exposed to senior football, I think, earlier. And like, again, repeat myself, that they need to be coming into camps with the national teams on a regular basis. So you can monitor their progress. And I have given the KFA a concept, not just listing all the problems, listing the problems with solutions. But unfortunately, that presentation will probably land in the dustbin. So, but now I go back, just take you back to 2019. 2019년에 저는 한국 왔어요.
Yep.
So at that time there was also under 19, under 20 AFC Cup. Like we had a few weeks ago in Uzbekistan with our under 20s. So the top 4 qualify for the World Cup. And in 2019, Japan, North Korea were through. And then it was Australia against South Korea, 3rd, 4th place playoff. And we beat Australia 9-0.
9-0.
9-0. So that was the generation of Chu Hyoju. Yeah. And Kang Ji-woo. So these players. But Hyoju is the player that really has established herself in my squad. So 2019, we beat under 20s Australia 9-0. Now, a couple of months back, I was with the under 20s in Uzbekistan, Asian Cup 2024. We lose both matches against Australia. Both matches. Yeah. So you can see that things are beginning to change. Yeah. I don't want to be negative, but just listen, we need to do things. We need to do more. I don't want to be catching up. I want to be a step ahead. But it shows that other nations are catching up. Yeah. And we'll have, in maybe the next 2 or 3 years, you'll see that Philippines are getting stronger, Vietnam are getting stronger, Uzbekistan will be getting stronger. You see in men's football,
of course,
how strong Uzbekistan have become.
Yeah, it sounds very much like men's football. The southern, eastern Asia teams are getting better
Indonesia,
and better.
Men's football, yeah. So if you stand still in football, you're going back. The only reason I'm doing this interview, I love the country, I love the people here. I've tried to learn the language as much as I possibly can. And I want to return to Korea, maybe in a year or 2. And I'd love to work here again, whether it's with the KFA or a club. But that's my aim and that's my ambition, to come back to Korea, to live permanently and to work in football. Yeah, but get behind the football, the women's football, the men's football, everything can improve.
Yeah. KFA need a coach who can live in Korea for whole time.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think, again, talking to Mr. Chung this morning, the president, and just stating that fact from my personal point of view, that I just believe as a coach of the national team, you have to be in that country. Yeah, you have to know the culture. And I'm still learning now about the Korean culture after 5 years. There's still a lot of things that I need to learn and to accept as well. 일주일에 저는 한 번, 두 번 한국 공부해요. To try and speak as good as possible. So every training session, I would speak Korean on the pitch. And mainly in the team meetings before we actually play, I try to do everything myself in Korean. And also, as you know, I always sing the national anthem. Why do I sing the national anthem? Because I love living here and I'm proud of being head coach of South Korea. And I just believe to get that emotional connection, you have to live in the country. Yeah, to see how the people live here, to see how they interact with each other, to be part of that. So, you know, I go shopping in Ilsan, or I go to the cafe. I go to one cafe. I don't even order. They see me and they know exactly. 감독님, 따뜻한 아메리카노 연하게. 문제 없어요. So 저는 앉았어요. 그 다음에 커피 따뜻한 커피. Yeah, or I just go have a friendly word with people when I go to the gym. I have a conversation, or in the sauna, that I can speak with. Try to speak as much as I possibly can in Korean. And I think that definitely helped me. And of course, then doing my job, watching every week 1 or 2 matches in the WK League, always up to date. But the question is, yes, I believe they need to live here. I think also that the Korean people are very, very proud. Yeah, so a proud nation. But I believe at times that Korea needs to have more. 더 자신감.
더 자신감.
예, 한국 사람 자신감 필요해요. Yeah.
There was long talk, and just 2 questions left now. What was so good and convenient thing in Korea, you feel?
Obviously, then meeting some very dear people, making some very dear relationships. It's very special. So that special relationship is very important. And again, the lifestyle that I repeat myself. I love going on Han River, so Hangang, those kind of things. Seoul is a beautiful place. Yeah, it's a beautiful city. So those are the things. There's just one thing I don't like. 일산부터 서울까지 항상 차가 막혀서요.
Yeah.
2 days ago, I had to come to Seoul, and it took me 2.5 hours to get here from Ilsan. So that's the only negative, but that's a small price. I think just a small negative, and everything else has been. Yeah, and then you said convenience stores. They're always open, like CU and GS25.
Yeah.
I love that. Part of that Korean culture, you know, like if it's good weather, you can just sit outside a CU or a GS25 and have a coffee or a Coke Zero or something. It's just again embracing those simple things. Yeah, it doesn't have to be expensive or luxurious. Just experiencing that everyday life and being involved in the Korean way of life.
Can you sing the national anthem with me?
So 동해 물과 백두산이
마르고
닳도록. When I hear it, I can sing it.
Yeah,
I better have some water and clear my voice, my singing voice. Yeah. With intro or without intro, because sometimes when we played, they would start straight away. Yeah. Is it with intro or without intro? Yeah. So now we start. 동해물과 백두산이 마르고 닳도록 하느님이 보호하사 우리 남한세 무궁화 삼천리 화려강산 대한 사람 대안으로 길이 보존하세.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, you definitely.
As soon as it gets going,
you definitely remember the
of course.
whole
Yeah,
lyric.
it's just again, as soon as it starts, I can get in there.
Yeah.